PSG versus Bayern Munich. What a game, what an entertaining game. It was cinematic in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. It had everything that you will want from, a match of the Giants, a match where people actually came to play football. Unlike, Arsenal, where it was more pragmatic, more harambol, but they get the job done. But in this sense, PSG is more show. First things first, the one thing that I noticed from this game is that PSG did not really come into this game thinking about gaining possession in any way, shape or form. They're like, you know what? No, we're gonna sit back. We're gonna close down the passing channels, close down those attacking channels, and they did that very well, especially with how the defense was structured. When they were playing going front, the defense was like in a 3-man defense with Joao Neves coming back and also helping. Imagine in the fact that he's 5'9" and doing donkey work, ladies and gentlemen. It goes to show how Luis Enrique trusts in him and how technical and how smart of a player he is, ladies and gentlemen, right? And then also why Zaire Emery, doing his thing, overlapping, also coming back, just trying to overload that the Bayern defense, or rather their midfield, so to say, because he's a midfielder by trade, and the fact that he could play not as a fullback, but let's say auxiliary fullback, so to say, because bro was up and down, in that flank, or he was also inverted most of the time of the game, and I guess that really helped in the PSG cause, in the PSG tactical play, right? And their midfield as well, especially Vitinha. Oh my god, bro. The battle of Vitinha versus Joshua Kimmich. Vitinha outclassed him, not gonna lie, fam. They were really solid, ladies and gentlemen. When Bayern were trying to attack them, bro, the entire team was like this compact, ladies and gentlemen. From Nuno Mendes, to Pacho. Pacho was very good as well, man. Just intercepting those balls, playing it rough, playing it dirty, and I'm pretty sure they have this mindset because they know that also Arsenal are gonna be that dog, that is what maybe Luis Enrique told them in the locker room, man. And they did their thing. From Dembele again coming in clutch for the team when the team needed him most, and bro, it was just a team play all along, from Kvaratskhelia just doing his thing, attacking, helping in the defense as well. There's no ego in any shape or form. Mbappe, again, you missed out. And man, it's a shame, man, that when you leave that toxic ex, that is when things are actually going all good for you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, into another final, and you can just praise and laud on to Luis Enrique and his entire team for actually doing it back to back for the first time since Real Madrid in, I believe, 2018 or something, the Real Madrid era. So shout out to them, man. Bayern Munich, man, I feel like your attacking players, especially your star players like the likes of Michael Olise, what's his name, Jamal Musiala, Harry Kane, all of you guys were closed up. They were closed up perfectly. The PSG defense knew what they had to do, and they did it perfectly, of course, until the last moments of the game, in which the game was already gone, done and dusted, but fair flipping play, fam. Fair flipping play. Olise had not have his best game. He was trying, but he was locked up by 3-4 players, fam. They did not want him to, they did not give him space to breathe. Rather, the entire PSG team did not give any Bayern Munich player to breathe in any way, shape or form. They were on their toes, dog walking for the 90 minutes, fam. And mind you, some of these players, PSG players, were not 100%, from Dembele, from Nuno Mendes, even I think what's his name, Desiree Du. I don't believe he was 100%, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that they turned up goes to show a lot about their mentality, and it goes to show that they can do the job right. And not gonna lie, they're looking like the favorites to win this again. I mean, Arsenal are going into this as the underdogs, the defending champions versus the underdogs. But you never know, ladies and gentlemen. It's all set for, I believe, Budapest or something, and we're gonna see who's gonna cook from. Bayern Munich was outclassed in any shape or form, and their defense again showed that it was leaky, and I believe they have to restructure that defense, so to say, because if you also saw in their league game where they drew 3-3, I mean, it's not only that. Even before, you get to see that you can outmaneuver that defense with the likes of Upamecano. Not really. I don't know. There's a little bit of zhuzh or flair that needs to be added in that defense to make it more solid, because they are very leaky, especially against a very technical side like PSG, where they can just in a snap like this just destroy you and you are gone, and they can just finish you. The fact that it ended 5-4 in the first leg, insane, ladies and gentlemen, insane. But all in all, fair play to PSG for actually getting the job done. Mbappe, you have missed out again, and well, I guess it shows. It shows, but it shows, man. But all in all, I'm a neutral in this final, and whoever wins, they will have merited it, man, because PSG really started this season not on a very high note, just like last season again, but I guess they found their groove because they also had a lot of injuries. It will make sense because they had a lot of players playing many games at a high levels, and of course that leads to body fatigue, and then things, you know, Bayern Munich, I also think that they also need to add more depth. They don't have that depth as much, but that does not mean that they did not cook or did not play well. But compared to PSG outclassed them in every way, ladies and gentlemen. A player that I would really like to highlight is Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz really tried his all to actually put this game to bed, but people were not as clinic as much, and also again the PSG team were like cramping up those spaces, not letting anything of significance come through from the Bayern players, and that is exactly what they achieved, fam. Like, father, this game ended 6-5. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So shout out to PSG, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Do all the good stuff, and peace.